Okay, so let's talk about something that is fundamentally changing the internet for every young person in India. There's a new law, the Digital Personal Data Protection Act, and it's basically put up this powerful digital shield to protect our kids online. This is a huge moment, and it puts India's rules right up there with some of the strongest in the entire world. So let's break down what this actually means for you and your family.
It's a question that's, well, it's pretty unsettling, isn't it? Every single click, every video they watch, every game they play, all of it can be monitored. So who is watching? And what are they doing with all that information? For the longest time, we really just didn't know. But that is all about to change.
And that change? It comes from the Digital Personal Data Protection Act of 2023. And look, this is not just another policy update that you can scroll past. Think of it as a legally binding line in the sand, drawn specifically to protect the most vulnerable users we have online.
All right, let's get into the details. The first, and maybe the most critical part of this new law, is how crystal clear it is about who gets protected. There's no gray area, no complicated levels, it's just one simple, really powerful rule.
And there it is, straight from the law itself. A child is anyone who has not yet turned 18. This one clear, simple rule is the foundation for everything else. Are you under 18? You're protected. It is literally that straightforward.
So if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this simple fact. Age 18 is the magic number. The second someone is under 18 years old, the law kicks in and says they get a much higher level of protection. This is now an undeniable rule for every single digital platform that operates in India.
Okay, so we know who is protected now. The next big question is, well, who is in charge of that protection? And what the law does is it formally appoints a brand new set of digital guardians.
Now, check out this legal language because it's really important. A data principal is basically the owner of the data, and the law makes it absolutely clear. For a child, the data principal, the owner, is the parent or the legal guardian. What this really means is that parents are now the official legal gatekeepers of their child's data rights.
And this is where you can really see that new power dynamic in action. Before any platform can even think about processing a child's personal data, they must, and that's the key word, they must get verifiable consent from a parent. The burden is now completely on the company to prove they have that permission. The power has officially shifted from the platform back to the parent.
Now, this next part is where the law gets incredibly specific and, honestly, really powerful. It doesn't just manage data collection, it straight up bans the most common and you could say exploitative practices that have kind of become standard across the internet.
Just let that sink in for a second. This is a direct quote from the Act, and it is an absolute ban. Tracking a child's activity across different websites? Nope. Behaviorally monitoring them to build a detailed profile? Not allowed. And using that profile for targeted advertising? All of it is now illegal.
I mean, this chart just shows how dramatic that shift really is. What used to be the standard business model for so many online services, the main way they made their money, is now strictly prohibited when it comes to users under 18. This isn't a small change, it's a complete game changer.
Okay, so having strong rules is great, but what actually gives them teeth, right? What makes these massive global companies actually pay attention and follow them? Well, in this case, the answer is a financial penalty so huge it is literally impossible to ignore.
200 crore rupees, that's 2 billion rupees. This single number is what guarantees that companies will comply. It is a number specifically designed to get the attention of every single boardroom everywhere in the world.
And let's be really clear about this. That isn't some fine for having a bad year. That's the maximum penalty for a single breach of these rules. That fact alone transforms this whole thing from a polite suggestion into a very high-stakes, legally binding obligation.
So let's just quickly recap the new digital reality here. Number 1, anyone under 18 is legally protected. 2, parental consent isn't just a good idea, it's mandatory. 3, tracking kids and targeting them with ads is now banned. And 4, any company that breaks these rules is facing a catastrophic penalty.
So a new line has been drawn in the sand. This law has created an incredibly powerful shield, and it has put the key to that shield directly into the hands of parents. The power truly is now with you. The only question left is, how are you going to use it?